Hello everyone here, welcome back to Farming Simulator 25 on Hutan Pantai. Since last episode, we finished up planting our oat field there. The oat field has, of course, started to grow here at this point. We're now into the next month of April here. I've also weeded and fertilized the oat field here, so we should be all set on this field here. Double checking here a minute. Always kind of have double check that, just make sure. Oh, yeah, that's right. I did forget to plow this field. I noticed that after I was done planting, I was checking, like, crap. Oh, well, so we'll have to make sure we make note of that next time. We need to plow that field, so, well. Anyway, this episode, of course, into the month of April, and we'll hopefully get the rest of our planting done here. And speaking of planting, we're planting rice down on our main farmyard area here. Again, we got 2 rice paddies down here, a smaller one, and, of course, the larger one here. Still both fairly good sized as far as rice paddies are concerned. Now, speaking of planting rice, I decided with the amount of fields we have for rice, might be a good idea to invest in another rice planter. So I went ahead and picked up another one of those. So we got one up at the, what I'm going to call kind of, again, the rice farmyard. I have one. And then one down by the main farmyard. I'm going to do the same thing with harvesters as well, I figured. And we're going to buy a second harvester. In fact, we'll maybe do that one right now just so we have it. And it's ready to go when it comes harvest time. Speaking of harvest time, by the way, we've got a fair amount of grain planted at this time around as well, and we only have 1 grain head here for our combines. We got 2 combines, but only 1 grain head. So I think it'd be a good idea with the money we have to invest in another grain head here. So we could wait and see if something shows up on sale. I have seen them show up. I don't know if the tractor out of here. I don't know if the exact head we will need will be on sale, though, so let's see what's there. Okay. Get out of the way in time. Nope. Ooh, that's close. Let's see. Are all the rest of the fields done? I think that was the last field that needed to be worked up, so we should be good. This tractor out of the way here a minute. Yeah, we're still running the little Massey Ferguson 690 tractor here with our John Deere 980 cultivator here. Haven't upgraded this setup at all yet. Again, we've kind of gone no-till here at this point, so I mean, why upgrade the cultivator, right? Probably would be actually a good idea to upgrade the cultivator, but we have not as of yet. Oh yes, there's the subsoiler I probably should have made use of on our other field there. So yeah, anyway, like I said, we got some fields to plant here in this episode of one. Not entirely sure what we're going to plant where here yet, but we'll kind of just figure that out here. Our big group of fields in the middle is done. Of course, we'll be planting rice over here. I'm thinking probably soybeans over here, and then, I don't know, corn up here maybe or something. That might work. And then we'll figure out what we're going to do down here. We can do sunflowers again. Might do sunflowers again. We'll see what's here. Figure it out, Evan. Anyway, got the John Deere 8R up here. We're going to grab our planter here. And we're going to start planting. In fact, the planter's probably going to do most of the rest of our planting here at this point. Speaking of planters and seeders, by the way, Evan, I just spent the last, probably hour and a half, trying to put some new seeders in the game here. Went to the Farming Simulator mod hub there. And on the Farming Simulator, I'm talking the official Farming Simulator mod hub, by the way. They've got a couple additional seeders here. First off, we got the Seed Hawk. Seed Hawk is not a mod by Giants, by the way. That someone else released that one. So the Seed Hawk is available on the official Farming Simulator mod hub. I don't know if that's for console or not, if it's just PC. But again, sometimes some of the mods that are on the console, or sorry, that are on the mod hub, are not always available for the console. So just because it's on the mod hub doesn't mean it's available, unfortunately. And I'm not sure in that particular case. But again, like I said, the Seed Hawk is available on there. So I'm like, you know what? I don't know if that one no-tills or not. But that is definitely a much larger seeder. Be a good choice here. Again, if it no-tills anyway. If it doesn't no-till, then it might be like, I don't know. Then we got to decide on whether we want to upgrade our cultivating setup. Because, yeah. And then there was also another Vaderstad seeder. I think that one was bigger. I don't know if that one no-tills or not either one. I could not get either one of those to load into my game. I don't know why, but I spent the last hour and a half. Every time I try to start my game with either one of those 2 mods activated, the game crashes. Like, as soon as I go to load, it locks up, and then it takes like 5 minutes, but it will eventually, like, close. Like, oh, try it again. Like, I tried one, I tried both, yeah, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know. Rather frustrating, because every time I try to load with either one of those, and I tried a couple other mods, too, so it might not be just the seeders. I had problems with a couple other mods, too. that were just not loading in my game here. So we're going to head over to these fields here, I guess, for starters. We're going to set you over on soybeans. Soybeans planted here. Again, like I said, all our seeders and planters at this point are no-till capable, so no cultivation necessary. Although I should probably really, let's see, steering assist. We're going to do 2 headlands, I think. Just my preference on that one. Probably should really have turned the straw off here. That's probably, did I use Courseplay for this? Actually, hard to say, because what happens, Courseplay turns it on, so I probably had used Courseplay for it at some point, and Courseplay turns it on unless I remember to turn it back off. It just stays on, so yep, we need to be a little closer to the edge of the field here. Okay, turn that on, lower that down. That's it. We're going to start planting. No fertilizer or anything on these fields. That would be possibly one advantage of doing cultivation, everyone. If we have cultivating, I can fertilize before cultivating, and then when we plant, all the planters can also fertilize, of course, right? We'll be done fertilizing. So at this point, I do have to fertilize after most of the planting here. The exception, of course, being some of our limed fields here. Speaking of limed fields, I think I got one field that needs lime yet, don't I? Checking. I think, come on now. There we go. Nope, one more. Yeah, it's 46, 47. You know what? Before I forget, let's get this done here. We need to probably just have you head to the shop. I think I got lime sitting at the shop there. Run across a little moat there, or whatever that's supposed to be. Let's see. Great job. I guess I really didn't need to be on that screen. Did I just click there? We're going to do a go to the shop, please. Can I see my tractor from over here? I cannot, unfortunately. Right over there somewhere. Oh, even if I can't see it, I can actually click on it. I did not think that was going to work, Evan. I did not think that was going to work. Apparently, the click to switch does still work for that. Gotta say, again, if you haven't downloaded the click to switch mod, really should give it a try. Highly recommend that mod. It's a really simple little mod. You would think, is it really? But boy, it really comes in handy when you're switching between multiple pieces of equipment like I'm doing a lot of times. Especially if you're out in a field harvesting. Yeah, especially if you're playing single player. Multiplayer, maybe not quite so much, right? But single player, got maybe a truck out in the field, combine out in the field, grain cart out in the field. Maybe you're doing some other field work, and you want to switch between all your equipment. You just bring up your mouse pointer, click on the piece of equipment, boom, switch right to it. So really, really nice. Again, simple little mod of it, not much to it, but it does add some nice functionality to the game, in my opinion. Rather than having, you're tabbing all the way around, right? Which I probably just screwed up my plan doing that, but speaking of which, I do not have, actually, let's go check our settings. I don't have the, let's see, manual ignition turned on, do I? Where would, settings, of course, right? Settings, is there a setting for that? Or did I miss that? Let's see, let's turn that off. Probably won't actually change anything. Be like all previous versions of the game ever, where even if you do turn that setting off, the engine still shuts off on you. For those of you who watched, any of my previous versions of gameplay here, I'm talking a Farming Simulator 22, 19, I don't know, 17? I don't know if it did that in 17, and I probably did. Actually, I'm not even sure 17. Maybe we didn't even have that option. It's a little bit of a newer option there, if I remember correctly. I don't think Giants always gave us that option. It was, you had automatic engine start whether you liked it or not. Then you had to rely on mods to actually give you manual ignition. But Giants did eventually add that option. With that being said, you pissed the crap out of me, Evan, because even though Giants gave us the option for that, the engine would still automatically shut off. Like I said, yeah, absolutely pissed the crap out of me on that one. I was just like, yeah. Here, I'm curious to see if that's going to be the case here. Oh, I'm not going to... Oh, maybe we can. Maybe. Oh, talk about close. I was going to say, I don't think I can make it to the end. Nope, we made it. Yeah, curious to see if 25 is going to be the same behavior or not. Never could really figure out a rhyme or a reason for that either of them. I know some folks like, well, maybe it's like a distance thing. But there was times like I could be on the opposite corner of the map, Evan, come back, and tractor's still running yet. Other times I'm in the building, next door, and it shuts off. What the world? I don't know. Giant's just like, let's shut it off on him. Ooh, this will piss him off. Let's shut it off on him. I declare that's what what Giants is doing. Well, one can definitely get some planting done quickly here with this setup, that's for sure. I'm running the Kinsey here. And the reason we're running the Kinsey, Evan, is because it has fertilizer. The John Deere one, unfortunately, does not have fertilizer. Actually, the John Deere one, is the John Deere one a mod too yet? Thinking about this, Evan, I think it's actually a mod, isn't it? Or is there a modded one available? Yeah, this is a mod. Okay, this is the one that's available on the official mod hub. So that one actually technically is not even part of the game. Wow. So, John Deere. Giants and John Deere, I guess. But Giants didn't even include any John Deere planters in the game, did they? Huh. The amount of John Deere equipment here is something discouraging. Part of that, though, and I know this has been a bit of a complaint here for Farming Simulator 25, Evan, is the amount, or maybe the lack of the amount of equipment in the game here. I just want to reiterate here again, everyone. Like, the amount of equipment here in Farming Simulator 25 is more than it was in 22. I think by like 100 more or something. I forget the exact number here again, everyone. But there is way more equipment here in Farming Simulator 25 than there was in 22. I know some of you folks don't think that's the case, but it is. There is more equipment here in 25 than there was in 22. I think the big difference here, Evan, is there's so many more categories here in 25 than there maybe was in 22. I mean, even from like 19 too. Like, we went from 19 to 22, we gained some categories. Went from 22 to 25. Here we got a lot more there's just so much more that can be done in the game here to some extent, Evan, that again, some of the categories look really sparse, shall we say, when it comes to equipment. I know like the rice category is probably a good example of that. Yeah, some of these other categories too. In the planter category, where's my planters now? Losing it. Yep. Then what is there? 6, 5, 8. Yeah, 8 planters of the game. Still, it's 8 planters, right? But so yeah, again, just a lot of equipment in the game, but you got to remember a lot of that equipment is spread out between multiple categories as well. So, and then Giants has obviously released a lot of mods on the official Farming Simulator mod hub there as well. But of course, I would question a lot of those mods, to be honest. A lot of that 3-meter rubbish garbage nonsense. Again, I don't understand the ever-loving fascination with 3-meter garbage, but whatever. Maybe there's is there anyone out there that actually likes that 3-meter garbage? Don't worry, we'll make fun of you if you do. So, but I mean, yeah, like who's actually using all this 3-meter rubbish? Actually, I could probably answer that question, Evan. Again, probably goes back to a lot of the European farming, and I don't know, maybe the European Farming Simulator players use a lot more of that stuff. It would, I guess, to some extent make sense, right, Evan? Like, if you think about it, everyone, the way you farm in the game is probably the way the farming is done in the area where you live, right? So for those of you who watch my channel, like, the farming you see me doing is kind of probably the farming that happens around where I live. It's a lot of bigger equipment around where I live. You don't see much in the 3-meter stuff. Like, maybe 100 years ago you did, but even 50 years ago, that 3-meter stuff was getting pretty obsolete, so... That's why I always joke when it comes to the European farmers, like, wow, Talk about going back to the 1950s. I'm not talking 50 years ago. I'm talking 1950s. But, again, farming around where I live, Evan, John Deere 8Rs, 12, 24-row planters, large John Deere S700, 600 series combines, 12-row heads on the combines, 45, 40, 45-foot draper heads. So the way a lot of the farming around where I live is done. As far as actual farm work nowadays, you don't see too many tractors smaller than 8Rs out in the field usually. At least doing actual field work, maybe doing some fertilizing stuff like that. Yeah, maybe you see some of the smaller tractors, but a lot of times nowadays it's 8R size tractors that are doing a lot of the field work, whether it's cultivating, chisel plowing, planting, all that type of thing, right? And then usually you see, like when it comes to spraying, either self-propelled, probably the most common, I would argue, or you will occasionally see the tow-behind sprayers as well. Not probably quite as common, but you see some of those as well. If I understand it correctly, I think the advantage of a tow-behind in some cases, a tow-behind can actually hold more than a self-propelled, which I always thought was kind of weird. Like, really, you're putting a bigger tank on the tow-behinds than you do the self-propelled? I don't know. Well, we were making very quick work of this field here. One more pass? Maybe two. There might be a sliver left. But it wasn't the best plant angle there. Like, why did we go at this angle? Why would we not just, gone straight with this edge here? And wouldn't have been perfectly straight with that edge, but we weren't straight with it. We were at an angle that edge, too. So, I don't know, Giants. Suspicious angle there. Maybe if I would have upped the number of headlands, maybe it would have made more sense. Again, when it comes to steering assist, I usually just leave it in auto, except for the headlands, of course. Here in this case, I tweak that one, of course. I just don't feel like one headland is enough to really turn around well with this particular planter. Apparently, the hired worker thinks it is, so hey, good for him. Most farmers, real life, probably would agree with that. By the way, they're like, yeah, we're going to plant 48 rows of headland here, not 24 if you're running a 24-row planter. Okay, next field. Wait, we might get all three of these fields planted here this episode. We'll come back next episode, maybe start planting some corn or sunflowers or something. Oh, I should probably check on a rice planter. Speaking of our seeders. Wait, are they planters or seeders? Evan, here's a question for you. Planter or seed? Ooh, you're almost done, aren't you? Okay, good. No, you're not, though. You are being stupid. Yeah. I don't know why. Whenever it comes to the headland pass on this field, Evan, I've always got to get the hired worker to restart. No, I'm going to have to do it, aren't I? Okay. Might have to go get some seed then. Fine. I think this and one other field always give me trouble. I mean, for some reason, again, the hired worker just will not plant the outside headland on this field. And I think which one is it? No, that one planted fine. So field 30 is fine. It must be the other part of 31 up here then. Good pup to turn on steering assist, but I figure I can handle this a little bit, right? Maybe. I was debating if we should up our rice planting operation here or not, Evan, but we'll see once here. Like we need to go get some more seed here in a minute. Finish planting this here, and then move him to the next field. Rather unfortunate the hired worker can't finish that. For the most part, I'm just relying on the hired workers to get all our rice operation done. Not the most exciting jobs necessarily, if you ask me, but it does pay well. And it does pay well. So when you consider the per acre, good paying crop. Nice thing, too, I only have to put one application of fertilizer on 2 of them, so... One application of fertilizer, don't have to weed the field. Actually, don't even have to put any fertilizer on because the planter puts fertilizer on when we plant, right? So, I mean, we are putting on one application of fertilizer, but it's at the time of planting. I don't have to put any additional fertilizer on after that. We do have to lime the fields, right? I think. Or do we? I'm trying to think. I don't remember now that if I've ever actually limed any of these fields or not. Checking. Do they need lime? Nope. Don't say they do. Yeah, we'll just, nope. Come on. Keep in the right direction here. We'll just start back over here, work our way back around, I guess. Yeah, like I said, super annoying. I don't know why the hired worker doesn't... I wonder if I, like, redefine this field or something, maybe. Like, recreate it. We should try that. Could technically make this field a little larger if we wanted to. Get it up a little closer to the wall there. Yeah, the hired workers will really hate me. Okay, there we go. Set that up. We'll get the hired worker going on the next field here. Just keep the rice planting going here. And speaking of keeping the rice planting going, we definitely need to get it going for the big field. That one here. I forgot to really like keep good track of time here last time we planted that field. That one, but I think it was good like 4 or 5 hours to plant that field. That one. If I had course play on it, course that would give me a time, but I just use the regular hired workers. Again, regular hired workers, in my opinion, I'm going to do a better job than what course play does. Typically, there's probably a few scenarios where they don't. We obviously had the lime screw up on field 1 and 2 here. A bit of a different situation there, but still. Speaking of lime, yeah, we should get you going. Let's see what's here. I think we're done over here, aren't we? Yes, we are. We are going to get you to the next field, though. Because this one's going to take a while, one. This one is going to take a while. I was going to say, speaking of lime, too, I just realized we need to lime field, or actually technically 2 fields yet, too, don't we? Ooh, this field's not filled. Crap. I forgot to water this field, didn't I? Or fill it with water, however you want to look at it, I guess. Yeah, we're going to fill this, and then we'll probably fast forward time here real quick just to get this filled up. Again, this is probably going to take the longest time here to plant this, so... Filling. Okay. And then fast forward time. Crank it up to 360 here. Takes about an hour, I've noticed. There we go. Okay, hire the worker. I see we got... you're probably a little close. Let's get you off this here. And I see we got a weeder over there that's possibly in the way as well. Actually, you're probably good. You're good. We'll leave you there. Okay. Oh, lime. I was going to say, back to plant, but no, we need to get some lime here first a minute. Unload that fertilizer. Just the one thing of fertilizer, apparently. I might grab one more thing of lime. Going to use the hired worker, but just in case I need to, like, fill in a few spots myself, might be nice to have just a little bit more lime on hand here. Okay. We're going to crate job, field work, and we are going to go to 47 and 46. I need to double check this though, because I'm pretty sure that's the one, right? Yes, it is. Okay, good. Wanted to double check. I'm going to make sure I'm doing the right field there. Okay. Hey, perfect. Everything's still on yet. I like this. Should have turned that setting off a long time ago. Probably the reason I didn't, is because, like we were discussing earlier, half the time it doesn't work. So it's like, why bother? That automatic engine start when you get in the vehicle is kind of nice. I have no problems with that. It's the shut off that's maybe a little bit annoying sometimes. Yeah, I'm not going to try to lock onto that line. We need it. There we go. I don't know why it's giving such a short little line there, but like, yeah, that's not worth it. Come on, tractor, go. Sometimes you gotta, coax it along or something, right? Okay, well, anyway, on that note, I know this episode's a little short of them, but I hear a baby calling here, so I think I better go answer that here a minute. So we're going to wrap it up here for this episode of it. I'm just going to keep planting here off camera, and we'll come back next episode, probably do some more planting here as well. So, again, thanks for watching. You folks have any comments or questions, be sure to leave them down below. And as always, thanks for watching. Until next time.